Allah alhayna wa yahawa ba shim yahawa shah mashiach wa malaki ba shim power wa kapurash rakatham duwara ba ba wa kwam yashra. Double honor to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone and teachers daily. To the men out there teaching and likewise doctrine and city shalom. Today we're going to get into this video. I don't know, but I don't know. It's this woman, right? And I listened to her video, and from what I can sense in the spirit, it seems like she's trying to find salvation for Esau. You know what I'm saying? And the way she goes about doing this is she calls out the wickedness of Jacob. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, she calls out how the Moors own slaves, the Indians, quote unquote, own slaves. Okay, cool. We knew that. We knew the Moors owned slaves in Europe. But she's trying to say all this to say that, you know, like Esau, he's not going to be held accountable for his wickedness. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, she could be a terror. She could be an Israelite. But me going by her spirit, it seems like either she's a two-third Eve or she's a terror looking for salvation for Esau. But that's not in the scriptures. Esau is getting punished. Okay? Now, let's go ahead and get the video, and then we'll bring out the scriptures. Now, the name of this video is American History and Slavery. How is this American history when she's talking about Moors in Europe? See what I'm saying? Well, let's go ahead and grab it.
Here are some facts that the left likes to leave out when they're teaching about slavery. 1. The first legal slave owner was a black man.
See what I'm saying? First legal slave owner. Okay, that's the case. What about the good ship Jesus? What about all the Amalekites that own slaves? What about all the presidents that own slaves? But she's trying to say pretty much that quote unquote black man set off the slavery movement or some shit. You know, she's trying to take the blame off of Esau. Let's go.
2. There were black people that owned slaves, and some of them were plantation owners who owned up to 100 slaves.
Now let's see how she's just going black, black, black. Let's see if she calls out Esau on some of his shit.
3. Native Americans owned slaves. Yes.
See? Now she going with the Northern Kingdom now.
The Cherokee owned black slaves. At one point, the Cherokee owned as many as 1,200 black slaves, and they didn't even...
How she know? Did she count them? Was she even alive? Or is she going by the lies of Esau either?
And free them during the 13th Amendment. 4. During the transatlantic slave trade, only 2% of the black slaves were actually shipped to the U.S.
Is that right? So 2% of 100 million. I mean, 100 million is 2% of what? See what I'm saying? She's saying that like that's a small thing. When the Amalekites, they advertise in this fake lie that there was 60 million Amalekites murdered in the Holocaust. Stop. That was not the Holocaust. The real Holocaust was the transatlantic slave trade, where over 100 million Israelites died on the way over here. Let's keep going.
5. 40 to 50% of the slaves were sent to Portugal and Brazil. 6. During the Revolutionary War, a lot of the generals actually freed their slaves that fought alongside them because they thought of themselves as hypocrites, because here they were fighting for freedom, yet they had slaves. So
they were hypocrites. See, she's lost in the sauce, man. She don't know what's going on. That's why it's stated that the Lord did not give women wisdom. Let me see if I can find it. She too busy trying to defend her master. Sloppy. This is the book of Job, chapter 39, verse 17. Because Yahweh hath deprived her of wisdom, neither hath he imparted her, Sloppy. Because Yahweh hath deprived her of wisdom, neither hath he imparted to her understanding. See, she don't know what's really going on. And that's what a lot of you Eve mess up at. You let your mouth get you in trouble, you don't know what you're talking about. Let me get another one. Go to Proverbs chapter 9, verse 13. Proverbs chapter 9, verse 13. The foolish woman is clamorous, means loud, just talking, saying nothing. She is simple and knoweth nothing. See, she don't know. The Lord only gave his wisdom to his men, not women. But see, nowadays you got women that thinking they're men. So thanks to Esau. Let's go.
They freed their slaves. 6. During the early 1800s, there was an 86% increase in the freedom of slaves, and this was before the 13th Amendment.
You see, the slaves were never free. And if she's talking about the Emancipation Proclamation by Abraham Lincoln, that was not freeing the slaves. That was a transference of ownership from private ownership to the government. And we still in captivity to this day. So what the hell is she talking about? Let's go.
7. There were hundreds of white Quakers who were thrown in prison up to 12 years for helping to free the slaves, meaning that they were part of the Underground Railroad and they were thrown in prison for helping to free the slaves.
That still does not take away from Esau's judgment. You see how she hinting at it? And she got that tactic from Esau too. Subtlety. Subtle as a serpent. Deceptive like a serpent. Yeah. She trying to paint a story like the Edomites wasn't that bad when they had us in slavery. Yes, the hell they were. That's why they get judged and kicked off the planet.
8. When the North decided to abolish slavery, that represented 3.5 million people who said no to slavery. And that was actually the largest body of people in the world to say no to slavery.
So it still happened though. You see what I'm saying? That does not negate from the fact that it happened.
The North. 9. There are more people enslaved today than there was during the time of slavery in the U.S. 10.
Thanks to who? Esau Edom.
America was exceptional in their abolishment of slavery.
It was never abolished. It was never done away with. It was just transferred to the government, which is why you got birth certificates, social security cards. That's their way of them telling you that they own you. You are a stock. Hence the birth certificate.
Because they used their own men to free the slaves.
See, she thinks she's free. See that big ass forehead on her, you would think she'll have some wisdom. But no, she thinks she's free. She's a slave as well, but she thinks she's free.
Around 250,000 men died to free the slaves. White men, most of them.
See, I knew it was gonna come out. See how she's trying to find the salvation for Esau? White men. No other race Eve cares about. Not the East Indian man, not the Japhites, not the Ammonites, not the Moabites. Who's at the forefront of Eve? Who Eve trying to free? Esau. It says it right here. She ain't concerned with saving no other nation, not even her own, if she is an Israelite. She worried about Esau. That's the end of the video. We can come out of this. So, yeah, that's where we at. She thinks she's still free. She don't know shit. Let's go ahead and grab these scriptures, man. Because I hate when people be talking like that. Like it wasn't so bad. Okay, you can die with me. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah chapter 30. All right, let's go to Jeremiah chapter 30. And we're going to verses 16, and we're going to read on down. Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil meaning robbed. And all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. Verse 17. For I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith the Lord Yahweh, because they call thee an outcast, saying, This is Zion, whom no man seeketh out. Verse 18. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Behold, I will bring again the captivity of Jacob's tents, and have mercy on his dwelling places. And the city shall be built upon her own heap, and the palace shall remain after the manner thereof. Yeah, every one of them shall go. Now let's keep going. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 11, and we're going down to verse 21. Though joined hand in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. Let's go to the book of James, chapter 2, and we're going to go down to verse 13. For he shall have judgment without mercy, that show no mercy, and mercy rejoiceth against judgment. Now, who the only race, the only suicidal, violent race, genocidal, violent race on the planet? Esau, Edom. Let's go to the book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 1. And we're going down to verse 6, and we're going to read on down. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 6. Seeing it is a righteous thing that with Yahweh to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. Verse 7. And to you who are troubled rest with us, when the Lord Yahweh shall be revealed from the heaven with his mighty angels. Verse 8. In flaming fire, taking vengeance on them that know not Yahweh, and that obey not the gospel of our Lord Yahweh Hamashiach Salaki. Verse 9. Who shall be punished with everlasting destruction from the presence of the Lord and from the glory of his power. Verse 10. When he shall come to be glorified in his saints and to be admired in all them that believe, because our testimony among you was believed in that day. Yeah, they don't get it. Go to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3. Let's go down to verse 18. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest them and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way to save his life. The same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. Verse 19. Yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall surely die in his iniquity. But thou hast delivered thy soul. Now, let's keep going. I'm going to say this. I mean, yeah, we got plenty to go. Let's go. Let's get it. Isaiah chapter 59, verse 7. Their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed innocent blood. Their thoughts are thoughts of iniquity, wasting and destruction are in their paths. Edomites. Zechariah chapter 11, verse 5. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. See, Esau think because he ain't got punished yet, the Lord is with this. No, he just giving you enough rope to hang yourself. Genesis chapter 9, verse 6. Whoso shed of man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of Yahweh made he man. Numbers chapter 35, verse 19. The revenger of blood himself shall slay the murderer. When he meeteth him, he shall slay. Numbers chapter 35, verse 21. Or in enmity smite him with his hand, that he die. He that smote him shall surely be put to death, for he is a murderer. The revenger of blood shall slay the murderer. He meeteth him. 2 Samuel chapter 4, verse 11. How much more when the wicked man have slain a righteous person in his own house upon his bed? Shall I not therefore now require his blood of your hand and take you away from the earth? After that 1,000 years of captivity. Obadiah chapter 1, verse 15. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. See? Sirach chapter 27, verse 27. He that worketh mischief, it shall fall upon him, and he shall not know whence it cometh. Verse 30. Malice and wrath, even these are abominations, and a sinful man shall have both. Psalm chapter 58, verse 2. Yet in heart ye work wickedness, ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. Esau. Job chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given to the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof, not where and who is he. Obadiah chapter 1, verse 2. Behold, I have made thee small amongst the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. Psalms chapter 55, verse 20. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his cup. That's all he does. Sirach chapter 27, verse 24. I have hated many things, but nothing like him. For the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah will hate him. But the Lord loves everybody, right, Christians? Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. Therefore, the hearts of the sons of men are fully set in them to do evil. But they ain't got punished yet. Key word, yet. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 16. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. That's why Esau takes it above and beyond taking your life. He got to file your body after he murders you. He got to cut you up. He got to drink your blood. He got to pickle body parts. He got to do all this stupid shit after he takes your life. That's why it says he's not satisfied with blood. Sirach chapter 10, verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injury, and riches gathered by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. That's where we about to start that process. The Lord is about to take this kingdom from Esau and rule with the Israelites. Proverbs chapter 21, verse 7. The robbery of the wicked shall destroy them because they refuse to do judgment. They refuse to do righteous judgment. That's why them not doing righteous judgment, this kingdom gonna be destroyed. Psalms chapter 137, verse 8. O daughter of Babylon, who ought to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. See, like Christians tell, oh, you don't supposed to hate nobody. Okay. You see how we're gonna see how far that love shit get you. Verse 9, happy shall he be that taketh and dashes thy little ones against the stone. Remember alligator bait? Yeah, you gonna love after that. If they take your newborn and put him in a river and use the alligator bait, you gonna love after that? Are you stupid? The answer is yes. Because you Christians want to love everybody. You let anybody walk all over you. And you love repeating lies that you were told. Y'all stupid as hell. Ezekiel chapter 22, verse 29. The people of the land have used oppression, exercised robbery, and have vexed the poor and needy. Yeah, they have oppressed the stranger wrongfully, and they still doing it. Psalm chapter 37, verse 32. The wicked watches the righteous and seeketh to slay him. Police cars just pull you over and make up anything. Yeah. Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. That's why you got protests and all this anarchy all over the world, except for the United States. All right. I mean, yet. The reason they ain't doing all that over here is because the government ain't set it off yet. Because they know that this is the most heavily armed country on the planet. They know they are outmanned and outgunned. That's why they want to take your guns. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 16. Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spillings shall be on thy glory. The cup of the Lord's right hand is 1,000 years captivity for you Edomites, you Amalekites, and you heathen nations. But only the Amalekites and the Edomites are going to be exterminated from this planet forever. We can't wait because we're tired of y'all ass. You're doing too much. Sirach chapter 14, verse 7. And if he do it good, he do it unwillingly. And at the last, he will declare his wickedness. That's why it says in Sirach chapter 12, verse 10, never trust thine enemy. Because eventually he gonna show his horns when he get tired of trying to pretend to be in something he's not. And that's a righteous man. He's not. Because he's created to be the wicked. Second Maccabees chapter 7, verse 31. And though that has been the author of all mischief against the Hebrews shall not escape the hands of your house. They ain't going nowhere but into captivity. Psalms chapter 72, verse 4. He shall judge the poor of the people, he shall save the children of the needy, and shall break in pieces the oppressor. And one person right here doing the oppressing. Edom. Oh, and Moab now. See, Moab, he gonna get dealt with too. because he learned all this shit from Esau. Let's get Isaiah chapter 33, verse 1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou wast not spoiled, that dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. Remember, spoil means rob. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. Isaiah chapter 34, verse 5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. That sword are those nuclear ICBM missiles. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. Idumea is Greek for Edom. And upon the people of my curse to judgment. Now it says the sword shall be bathed in heaven. It's going up in orbit. And then it's coming down at terminal velocity. Right? Down to hit the United States, aka Babylon the Great. Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 31. Behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud. Now we all know who's very proud, huh? Yeah, we know who proud. We know who proud. Saith the Lord Yahweh hosts, for thy day is come, the time that I will visit thee. Mm-hmm. It's coming. Matter of fact, he already issuing out plagues upon our enemies. Lamentations chapter 4, verse 21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. That's that judgment. Thou shalt be drunken, and thou shalt make thyself and shalt make thyself naked. I mean, you're gonna drink so much of that cup, you're gonna be drunk, spiritually, literally. Too much punishment, but we don't care. The Lord make you drink. Second Ezra chapter 8, verse 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them in the latter time, shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. That ain't no coincidence. Edom being the most proudest nation on the country in the world, and these proud people that they just gave all these rights to. Proverbs chapter 14, verse 17. He that is soon angry dealeth foolishly, and a man of wicked devices is hated. Obadiah chapter 1, verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Sirach chapter 10, verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches gathered by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another, from the Edomites to the Israelites. Book of Nahum, chapter 3, verse 1. Woe to the bloody city, it is full of lies and robbery, the prey departeth not. Verse 4. Because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcraft that selleth nations through her whoredoms and families through her witchcraft. Now, who selleth families? Esau. Remember human trafficking? Yeah, that's going on at an all-time high for real. Verse 5, behold, I am against thee, said the Lord Yahweh of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame. That's part of your punishment. But we ain't gonna really get it cracking until this war pop off. The thing that you are most proud of is destroyed. This country that you stole and murdered for and lied about. You're gonna take it from you. And then you're going into captivity for 1,000 years. And then you're gonna be exterminated off the planet. So anybody got to worry about your bullshit no more. Zechariah chapter 2, verse 7. Deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwellest with the daughter of Babylon. That means basically the same as come out of her, my people, for this is not your rest. Roughly paraphrasing the scripture. Separate spiritually from this place. Because if you want this place to go on, you will be destroyed. That means you don't want the Lord to come through. Verse 8. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. For he that touches you touches the apple of his eye. So how you think, how does woman think these people are not going to get punished? Isaiah chapter 47, verse 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne. The Lord is taking them out of power. O daughter of the Chaldees, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Isaiah chapter 47, verse 3. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yeah, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. Isaiah chapter 63, verse 4. For the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. Redeem means revenge. So how does lady think these people ain't gonna get punished? Calling out the wickedness of Israelites. Yeah, there are wicked Israelites. Romans chapter 9, verse 6, all of Israel is not Israel, roughly paraphrasing the scripture. But that does not negate from Esau's judgment at all. 2/3 gonna get punished just with right along with Esau. But Esau gonna get exterminated. Thus saith the Lord, thus saith the Bible. And I'm gonna get to it in a minute if you think I'm lying. Let's keep going. Isaiah chapter 47, verse 5. Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldees, for thou shalt no more be called the lady of kingdoms. See, and that's happening now. Everybody was scared of Babylon at first, but now everybody got their nukes up too. So now they pretty much shoot the bird at this country for all their bullshit. Isaiah chapter 47, verse 6. I was wroth with my people. I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. Verse 7. And thou saidst, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. They didn't think about the end, how the Lord was going to get them back. They was just enjoying the day. Yeah, they had us captive. They was enjoying that. But that's all right, though. Check this out. Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 5. Because thou hast had perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity and the time when their iniquity had an end. Verse 6. Therefore, as I live, says the Lord Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. I just like to think these people ain't gonna get punished. Where she get that from? One of them pastors up in them Christian churches, probably called not the wickedness of her own people, but giving the wicked a pass. Lady, you stupid as hell. That's why the Lord did not imbue women with wisdom, at least the wisdom of this book. Lamentations chapter 4, verse 22. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion, Israelites. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sin. He's doing that now because everything they've been up to for the past hundreds of years is being exposed, and they don't know how to act. Now you got Buddy down in Florida, what's his name? Ron DeSantis, the governor. He's trying to pass laws where you can't make them feel ashamed about their history. If that doesn't prove that this is the weakest nation, and only the power of Yahweh Shai can put these people over us because they're weak. There is a such thing as white fragility. That's an example of it. I mean, how you in your own kingdom, you hold all the cards, but you still getting your nuts crushed because of the truth coming out. That's a weak individual right there. Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 23. Truly in vain is salvation hoped for from the hills and from the multitude of mountains. The hills represent smaller countries. The mountains represent superpowers. Truly in the Lord Yahweh, our power is the salvation of Israel. No other nation. Salvation, that is. Now, if you want to consider slavery salvation, so be it. It's not the same. Because I know a lot of people that would rather die than to go into captivity. See? And that's the spirit right there. Because I just said it was only because of the power of Yahweh Shai that these idiots made it to the top. Let's get it. Daniel chapter 4, verse 17. This matter is done by the decree of the watchers and demand by the word of the holy ones to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men and give it to whomever he will and set up over it the basis of men. Yeah, the Lord put them in power to punish us. Guess what? We're at the end of our punishment, and y'all's are about to begin. So yeah, you about to come out of that chair, that seat, see what else. Oh, oh, yeah. Psalm chapter 2, verse 8. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thine possession. Verse 9. Thou shalt break them with the rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. Revelation chapter 13, verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. Verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that kill with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Revelation chapter 2, verse 26. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nation. So, Christian, you're not saved yet. If you can walk away from a nuclear a nuclear fire, or if you find yourself beamed up on one of them chariots, that's when you say. Other than that, that's a proud ass statement, a dangerous statement to make. Proud statement. Like you just know you got it like that. But I don't even know the Lord's true name. Are you kidding me? You Christians are a joke. Verse 27. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron as the vessel of the potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received my Father. Psalm chapter 149, verse 6. Let the high praise of Yahweh be in their mouth and the two-edged sword in their hand. Verse 7. To execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people. Verse 8. To bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. Verse 9. To execute upon them the judgment written. This honor hath all his saints. Praise ye the Lord. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Verse 2. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. Sound like slavery to me. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. Verse 3. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. Verse 4. That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, how have the oppressors ceased? The golden city ceased. America's gonna be destroyed. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 21. Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers. I never owned slaves. It don't matter. If you from that line, that bloodline of Edom, once upon a time in your past life, it's a good chance, in one of your past lives, a very good chance that you did own slaves. If you didn't, your forefathers owned slaves. That's why they're not here. So guess who got to pay the tab? You Edomites that are here today. The Lord punished the nation because he punished us. And he loves us. So what you think you gonna get? Edom. Let's get it again. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 21. Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with siege. That means your population is about to plummet. Oh, God. Let's keep going, baby. You on the road now. Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 7. Concerning Edom, thus says the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more unto mine? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? Answer is yes. The Lord he has taken their left-handed wisdom. Now they trying to do these psyops. Now they look stupid. Because Satan ain't with them no more. They out here on their own looking bad. Slap this psyops, call the lies left and right. Lies exposed through the ink dry. I mean, eat. Go on get this thing set. Go on set this thing off. Go on get your 1,000 years out the way, man. It's a long ride. If I was you, I gonna set it off. Is this gonna happen? Okay, let's get Obadiah chapter 1, verse 9. And thy mighty men, O Timon, Edomites, shall be dismayed to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. What is woman talking about? I mean, she didn't say it officially, but you can tell in the spirit that what she was getting at. You know what I'm saying? And then at the very end, including the white man. See, that's the only one they're concerned about. If you love him like that, you can stay and die with him. It's just that simple. Verse 18, Obadiah chapter 1. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. Matter of fact, let's get a definition of what stubble actually is. So the point can go across clearly. Let's see what stubble is. It's talking about hair. The cut stalks of grain, plants left sticking out of the ground after the grain is harvested. That's not what it is. Stubble. In the Bible, stubble is used to typify worthless, inflammable material. Yeah, they're gonna be worthless, and they're gonna be burned up because they're worthless. Good enough. Isaiah chapter 3, verse 11. Woe unto the wicked! It shall be well with them, for they shall eat the fruit of their doings. Now they're trying to change history and lie some more. No, all your actions, all your words, everything you ever did, everything you ever said is recorded in the heavens by the angel. And the Lord said He requires blood. Ain't no, you can't get off the hook by saying a weak ass, fake ass apology. Mm-mm. Your blood got to run, your head's got to run. Yep, Revelation chapter 18, verse. We can start at verse 2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the whole of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive none of her plagues. Your plagues already hit this place. Verse 5. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh hath remembered her iniquities. Mm-hmm. Proverbs 19, verse 21. So this scripture basically says it doesn't matter what your opinion is, your your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions. If it ain't scripture, it don't mean shit. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 21. There are many devices in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord Yahweh that shall stand. So if the Lord said these people going into captivity, they will be punished. They will be punished. Except if you love eat like that, you can join them. Because we don't need no traitors. They're gonna be exterminated as well. Traitors of Israel. All you pastors, blind ass pastors up in these churches, y'all gonna get dealt with too. Psalm chapter 21, verse 11. For they intended evil against thee, they imagined of a mischievous device which they are not able to perform. Ain't no getting out of this evil. Job chapter 5, verse 12 and 13. He disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. Trying to rice everybody up. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. Psalm chapter 33, verse 10. Lord Yahweh bringeth the counsel of the heathen to naught. He maketh the devices of the people none effect. No matter what they do, no matter what they say, people going to captivity. There, you little Esau like that, you can join his punk ass. We can get this one, we can close. Second is, let's get Sirach chapter 8, verse 13. Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 13. But it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days. See, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not before Yahweh. He will not prolong his days. When the Lord said, you got to go, you got to go. And we get this one to close. Second Israel chapter 6, verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it. So, lady, you can go on over there and comfort your man before his destruction and judgment come. Eve and the serpent, I swear. They got to go, both of them. Call like live and hiding out your house by shooting how shot my shot while blocking by shooting how compromise or like a thumb, the bottom, by the ball, and thing that's about it. Shot one.